Dear students, welcome to this part of the chapter on future time. In this chart, we are going to talk about the use of future in time clauses. So here we have first of all to mention that clauses, okay? Well, clauses are usually found in complex sentences. So we can have a simple sentence in which we can have subject, verb, complement, full stop. Okay, that's a simple sentence. But we can also have complex sentences, and by this we mean a combination of two clauses, like a combination of two sentences. Okay, you can have the main clause, and then you can have the subordinate clause. Okay, as we have in the following example. So here we have Bob will come soon in the future. That is to say, Bob will come soon in the future. Now the complex sentence, when Bob comes, we will see him. So in this sentence, it's very clear that we are talking about the action that Bob will come soon. But notice that when we have a clause, a time clause, when Bob comes, notice that we are not using the future here. We are not using future auxiliaries, I mean. We don't use will, and we don't use be going to, as we have in this. So we can use only simple present. So the time clause here, be careful, when we have time clauses, we never use the future, okay? Future simple or future progressive. We can use only present simple, or we can use present progressive, as we're going to see in following examples. So when Bob comes, that is to say, when Bob comes in the future, so because we can't use will here, we simply use present simple because we have a time clause. We will see him, right? Another example of a complex sentence where we have main clause, subordinate clause, and we have time clause, that is to say, Linda is going to leave soon. So this is the scenario, this is the situation. Linda is going to leave soon in the future, is going to leave in the future. But when we have a time clause and we want to express this idea, we don't use future in this time clause. So we can use only present simple. Before she leaves, a time clause, okay, she is going to finish her work. She is going to finish her work. So here, even if we are talking about an action that will happen in the future, we can't use the future simple. We can use only the present simple because we have a time clause. This is a clause, okay? A clause in a complex sentence. Here we have all of this is a complex sentence. It's a combination of two clauses. We have the subordinate clause or time clause, and we have the main clause. So in the time clause, even if we want to express an action in the future, we don't use the future simple. We use only present simple, as in this case here. Another example, I will get home at 5:30. So this is the action that we are talking about. It's in the future, right? And we want to express this using a complex sentence in which we have a time clause, after I get home. So here, notice that even when we are talking about the action of getting in the future, we can't use future simple. We can use only present simple in the time clause instead of the future simple. Why? Because this is a rule. When we have a time clause, we never use future simple tense. We use only present simple tense, right? After I get home, I will eat dinner, right? Another example, the taxi will arrive soon. That is to say, the action is going to happen in the future, okay? But when we want to express this in a time clause, we can't use the future simple, as we have said in the rule. We can use only present. We can't use the future simple. We can use only the present simple. As soon as it arrives in the future, as soon as it arrives in the future, we're talking about an action in the future, but we can't use future simple. We can use only present simple tense, right? Present simple. As soon as it arrives, we will be able to leave the airport. Last example, they are going to come soon. So this is another action that is going to happen in the future. They are going to come soon. Now, if we want to express this in a time clause, remember the rule again, we can't use a future simple. We can use only present simple. I'll wait here until they come. Until they come is a time clause. It gives us an idea about the time of this action of waiting here, okay? I will wait until they come. So we use future, we don't use future simple. we use only present simple tense. Okay? Now, when Bob comes is a time clause. When plus subject plus verb, it is a time clause. When the meaning of the time clause is future, the simple present tense is used. So this is the rule. Will or be going to is not used in time clause. So this is the rule that you have to remember all the time about time clauses, okay? And another information we have to remember about time clauses. A time clause begins with such words as when, before, after, as soon as, until, and while, as we're going to see in another example coming soon in the same chart here. And it includes a subject and a verb. The time clause can come either at the beginning of the sentence or in the second part of the sentence. So here we have when he comes in the beginning of the complex sentence, or after in the second part of the complex sentence. We will see him when he comes, okay? So notice here the time clauses. We start with when, here it starts with before, after, as soon as, and until. And there are other one like while, which I'm going to talk about right now. Now, another scenario is that when we have long action in the future. Normally long action in the future, okay? We should use normally future continuous, as we're going to see in the following charts, okay? But in this here, we can't use future continuous. We can use, instead of that, the present continuous. Why? Because again, we have time clause. This is a time clause. While I am traveling in Europe next year, I am going to save money by staying in youth hostel. So we have an action that's going to be long in the future, next year. Traveling, okay? So normally we should use future continuous, while I will be traveling. But the rule says that we can't use future in a time clause. Instead of that, the most appropriate tense we can use is present continuous, because long action again, while I am traveling in Europe next year, okay? Sometimes the present progressive is used in a time clause to express an activity that will be in progress or long in the future. Okay? We can also have other scenarios, like in example G, I will go to bed after I finish my homework. I will go to bed after I have finished my work. Sorry, not my homework, work. So occasionally, the present perfect is used in a time clause. Sometimes you can also use present perfect, okay? As in examples, same meaning. The present perfect and time clause emphasizes the completion of one act before a second act occurs in the future. And we're going to see this the future perfect as well in the following chart. So remember here, normally we should use future perfect simple, okay? But we have a time clause. We can't use the future perfect simple. We have to use the most similar tense in the present, which is the present perfect simple. After I finish, or after I have finished my homework. So this is regarding expressing the future in time clauses. And thank you very much, and I see you in the following charts.